Hi, I'm Frédéric Desbiens, a member of the product management team at Oracle Mobility and Development Tools. Today, I will show you an Oracle MAF application that uses APEX as a backend. The use case for the application is very simple. So on the client side, we've got a typical MAF application made of two features. Those two features correspond to the two distinct backend systems the MAF application communicates with. The first system is a human resources system, and the second one is a payment processing system. The MAF application manages orders, and those orders must be paid with a third-party remote web page. So in the case of the human resource system, what we do is that we simply integrate the remote APEX mobile web page as a remote feature. In the case of the payment processing system, things are a bit more complicated. We integrate the user interface as an iframe in a local HTML5 page, and we do two distinct web service calls. The first one is a get in order to obtain the list of possible orders. And the second one is a post where we create an actual order in the payment processing system and then transfer to the remote web page in order to pay for that specific order. So now let's jump in the Android emulator and have a look at the actual application in action. This is the home screen of my virtual Android device. Let's now start the MAF application. The first thing we see here is a remote APEX mobile web page that we integrated as a remote URL feature. As you can see, the navigation bar for the MAF application is displayed over the application. I will now simply show you that this is actually an APEX web page, but as you can see, it is really embedded in the MAF application. Now, let's go somewhere else in the second feature. So the first thing we see here is a list of order. So this is an AMX page, but this page is querying a remote web service. The web service in this case is a service-enabled APEX report region. To show you the orders list is really an APEX RESTful-enabled report region. So we see here /APEX/ something, the app ID, page ID, and the static region ID that we've defined in APEX. And this specific report region has been configured to return an XML structure. Now I could have returned JSON, and I could have implemented using a REST service module, a web service to do the same thing and return JSON. So this is what we see right now. Now, if I click on the Create button to create a new order, I will navigate to an other AMX page. So I can fill the details of the new order. When I will click on the Create button, what will happen is that I will make a web service call to the APEX backend. And in this case, the service call is simply a REST service call using the POST HTTP method. So this service call creates the order on the backend, and then the MAF application will transfer the control to another feature, a local HTML5 one, where the user interface for the payment processing will be displayed. So we see here the styling is a bit different, and this is intentional to show you that this is really not an AMX page. This is truly a remote APEX web system. So in this case, we see that, the order has been created in the database. So this is the result of my POST web service call. And now I will create a payment. Obviously, we don't have many validations going on here. It's just to show what's possible. The nice thing when I create the submit button is that I commit in the database, and now using simply a JavaScript call, I am returned to the APEX, to the MAF application from the APEX application. So I did it through a JavaScript call. The actual means to do that, I won't show it in this demo because in an upcoming version of MAF, we will provide a much easier mean to do it. And probably down the road, I will explain how to achieve this on my blog. But this shows that we can easily, from a remote Apex web page, trigger JavaScript API calls that will call the MAF APIs in order to to navigate from one feature to another, for example. So this is the end for this demo. I'm Frédéric Desbiens. Thank you for watching and see you soon.